I think a lot of challenges facing Latino and students of color in general are some of the challenges that they've faced historically. Some structural barriers like poverty, limited resources, limited financial resources, mismatched policy, irrelevant curriculum. I think those are a lot of the challenges that have been going on for generations. I think other challenges that exist are low expectations, deficit approaches to working with youth of color and Latino youth specifically. Not realizing the significance of the family and the culture. We should be centering those kinds of gifts and these kind of additive aspects of our identities. The fact that our culture and our identity and our language are strengths that we bring, but a lot of times they're seen as deficits, and that those remain challenges.
We have the text message number that we have, but if you want to meet with me or you just want to talk about something, I will be on campus on Thursday.
My name is Martin Ramirez. I am currently the SESI Project Director at Sacramento City College. SESI stands for STEM Equity and Success Initiative. It is a Title III federal grant that was awarded to Sacramento City College in 2016. One of our goals is to increase the degree completion and transfer number of Latinx or low-income STEM students to a CSU campus or a UC by 50%. By 2021, there will be a 50% increase in the number of Hispanic STEM students transferring to a CSU campus, an increase from a 3-year average of 22 per year to 33 per year.
My name is Pablo Francisco Buenrostro. I go to school to Sacramento City College. I live with my mom, my dad, and three of my siblings. One of them moved out. My mom was first a stay-at-home mom, but then she went into the yard duty industry and was yard duty at an elementary school, Harkness Elementary School. And then now she's just a stay-at-home mom again. My dad was a field worker, then he became a mechanic. And after that, he's now a parking lot cleaner. He cleans parking lots. I wasn't really planning to go to college. I was at American Legion High School, and I was just planning to grab my diploma and go work in a mechanic shop that all my uncles usually work at, and my brother. But SESI, one of the programs in Sac City, came by American Legion, wanted to talk to most of the Latino and minorities in the school and tell them about SESI and what they could offer to help be successful at Sac City. And to be honest, it was a cool experience because it was nice seeing some people that are my color or my race offering help for me to be successful in life. Right now, I'm really determined to graduate and transfer to UC Davis because Martin and Alejandra and them have been pumping me up for college, saying that I am ready, that I can do it, that I am able to graduate from Sac City and transfer. They've been pumping me up and, giving me encouragement to go through school.
So I've done a lot of work related to school culture as it relates to Latino students and students of color. I would say the most significant thing is understanding what school culture means for our students. It means a lot of different things, but in my research, it has shown that student-teacher relationships are vital. And in what ways are relationships emphasized? Who's practicing these student-teacher relationships really well? In what ways are they facilitators for student opportunity? The other thing that makes up school culture is student voice. In what ways is a school responsive to student voice? Does the school listen to student voice? That's all part of school culture. What is the teaching and learning climate like? Do students have the opportunity to actually teach what they know? Do they actually get up in front of the classrooms or in front of the school and share? Those are all aspects of school culture, just some of them that have come out of my own research that have shown to be really significant and powerful for youth, especially youth of color. And just paying attention to just those few things could be really transformative for the student experience, because I think a lot of times they're kind of expected to be more passive, in the learning dynamic. Just kind of come into class, memorize the material, take notes, read the book. But in terms of producing knowledge, that's a pivot in terms of understanding and transforming school culture. And I think we need to be more intentional on creating opportunities like that.
My name's Kevin Gonzalez. I am 18 years old now. I live more in the Sacramento area, more like in the Meadowview side of town. Where I'm gonna go to school now is gonna be Sac City College, with their SESI program. I don't know anything about the SESI program and Sac City in general, besides like of course like the financial aid and the opportunities they have. Like, I don't know if I want to do this or not. I don't know if I want to come. And then I went, and then they told me about so many great opportunities they have there for the science and the engineering aspects they have. Certain aspects of like giving out food certain days and assisting in books, how the SESI program is, and learning more about my financial aid and using that towards necessities.
Another part of the program that makes it unique is that we have a retention team that is focused on really supporting them through completing their financial aid application, making sure that they have basic needs met, at sometimes maybe even just helping them with housing. Other challenges that some of our students face is sometimes even mental challenges like insecurities that deal with past traumas.
Just a couple nights ago, we did hear like a shootout going on the other side of our house. So at night, an obstacle is, I get scared sometimes at night hearing stuff like that.
More like in the middle school and elementary school, I saw more transformation of kids getting hooked to hookah, marijuana, alcohol at a pretty young age, sometimes even teen pregnancy, which was really crazy because being with them for so long and then to a sense being their school life might be over because they have to take care of a kid now, or they're hooked on drugs and they have no money. And a lot of that can be due to like the parenting. The parents might not be around for them.
So the types of trauma that are common among young college students, there's a variety. Students come to college with their own previous experiences of trauma, and we have to be aware of those things and acknowledge those things. Right? Students come to college having experienced domestic violence in their homes, having experienced homelessness and food insecurity, child abuse, immigration stories, family separations, all sorts of different traumas, community violence, police brutality. Those are a number of types of traumas that students bring with them before they even come to college. So we can identify trauma in a lot of different ways. Trauma is a response to an intense, stressful experience, right? And so when we're stressed out, most of us are irritable, we become very sad, we withdraw, we might become aggressive. It's hard for us to sleep, or we're sleeping too much. We might avoid doing things that we used to enjoy doing. We might have trouble concentrating. We can't focus on our schoolwork. We read a page and then we forgot what we read, just a minute before. There's a number of ways that students can treat trauma. I think the first thing is an acknowledgement that trauma happens. Current research shows that 2/3 of people have experienced at least one adverse childhood experience or one traumatic experience. And so the reality is that trauma, unfortunately, is a rather common experience. And so it's important for us to acknowledge that, know that we're not alone, and to know that there is support and help to address that trauma.
We also provide students with opportunities to participate in community circles and/or healing circles that are focused on really helping students deal with some of their insecurities with each other as a collective and be able to heal from that so we could overcome those challenges, whether it be academic or emotional or even social. And so building a relationship with our students has really been a priority through educational learning about their educational journeys, not only for students with each other, but also with faculty members. So building that sense of belonging and sense of connection with us has definitely been one of the solutions to that challenge.
About going into the classroom for the first time and meeting a new group of students, whether it's K-12 or higher community college or four-year institutions or even grad students. How do you begin to develop a rapport with your students when you don't know the students? And I think one thing that I've learned over the years is the power of my own story. Even when I engage with community groups, I often tell an aspect of my educational journey, whether it's a group of parents, a group of teachers, or a group of youth. So I think it's a really powerful and important way to build that rapport. And the reason why I do that is because, we can't really expect our students to tell their stories if we're not willing to tell our stories as professors, as teachers. So I do it as a way to model for the students what it could look like. And then I encourage some of my students to actually also tell their educational journey. They could either do it in written format, or they could also share an aspect of their educational journey in class with the rest of us.
I learned about educational journeys or long introductions through SESI. I have now been proactively including those in all of my classes. On the first day of class, we talk about, our experiences. And prior to being a part of SESI, I never shared my educational journey, let alone my status. So I was an immigrant and I was undocumented for many, many years. And then after that, I did become a citizen, but that was my first year of college. And it has, I think, been super powerful to finally be able to express that, because I think that growing up undocumented, there's almost a shame associated to it, because there's just this feeling that you're just not good enough. You're not good enough to your peers, particularly any of your white counterparts. And so that piece, it took me a while. The first time I shared, I actually broke down in front of my class. And after that, it slowly got better. And I realized the power really behind the story is so important. It has really cemented a connection with a lot of my students. I have a lot of students right now that are dreamers, and they ask about financial aid and things associated with immigration. And I tell them, I may not have the answer for you, but I will look for it. And I think just being able to cement from the beginning that I am their ally, opening that gateway of communications for students has, I think, allowed them to really feel like they can talk to me, because it breaks down the concept that I'm unrelatable. They start seeing that I went through a lot of what they're going through, or have had somewhat similar experiences, because I can't guarantee that I went through everything they went through. But we get to start to see the similarities between us.
But around 2 years ago, my junior year, May 30th, 2018, of Community Service Award, says here 190 hours of community service. They award me at the award show that night. And then here we have the certificate of scholarship that I got with the police program, the 1849 Foundation. I was really blessed to get this scholarship. And all around good time. High school graduation here for my senior portraits. I picked out this one. I felt like this was the best one. I took with, you can see the 19 here. The green for our high school colors, John F. Kennedy, the Cougars, green, gold, white, and a little bit of black.
Dream job. Right now, it's really hard to say, because I have many different hobbies that I want to pursue too. Right now that I'm usually aiming for is a civil engineer. Not sure in what career or in what category, but I know I want to be a civil engineer. I
wanted to study nursing, because I was just like, because my cousin did it, and I didn't really know what I was going into. But then when I learned about more of the programs they have, and the chance to get a chance with Rogers, internship there, and I saw civil engineering, and I saw the background for like building freeways, other types of construction that really interested me.
Students in our program are provided with STEM industry field trip experiences that are focused on connecting them with a network of STEM professionals. One example of a STEM industry field trip that our students participated in was a tour of the Wood Rogers civil engineering firm that is located here in Sacramento, California.
We've got Martine and Paul, and they brought along a few of their students, Pablo and Kevin.
Called the SESI Project, STEM Equity and Success Initiative. We're going to grow the program, but it's a research grant that's focused on transforming the campus at a larger scale to help create best practices around STEM and STEAM. So with that said, I'm gonna go introduce our students, and they'll say a few words about their experience in the program.
Hi, my name is Pablo F, Buenrostro, and I am a SESI student. My major is general engineering, but I'm thinking of switching to civil, mostly because of the summer symposium we had in the summer. Some civil engineers came over and explained what their jobs were, and that got me interested.
Hello, my name's Kevin. I'm also a student at SESI College, and I plan to go into civil engineering as well. I found it really, really interesting.
Company, how it looks, everybody's really friendly. Working areas they have cubicles, they have individual offices, and they have meeting offices. It looks like a really good place to work at.
State-of-the-art technology. It's just amazing to have the opportunity to go see these type of things and maybe in the future be a part of it. I can honestly see myself working here with this type of environment, being able to be yourself with other people around you that also feel the same way about the city of Sacramento.
I step into the campus and I acknowledge the diversity. I can see the colors and pride of mis raíces, but a new environment still brings me fear. But how I get by, I pretend to be one of my Mexican heroes. I arrive on campus on such an elegant horse, only dressed in Mexico's finest clothing, vestido de charro. I pretend classes I take are stolen land, only able to be retrieved or completing and passing the courses. The hero I inspired to be in this fantasy is Emiliano Zapata. He is an important part of our history, a man who arrived on the most elegant horses and vestido de charro, who fought for peace, freedom, and retrieved stolen land. But he has never been erased from this world. He still lives on. When I look into the eyes of my peers, my family, mi raza, I see a mirror. And looking back at me is Emiliano Zapata. Viva Emiliano Zapata!
Well, I heard his story. It was amazing. Coming up from nothing with the poetry, I really connected with him a lot with that. Being able to conquer your fears and whatever you're dealing with.
Over the course of the last 3 years, I've learned many things about a program like SESI. Working with faculty members, staff members, leadership, administration, and with our students is crucial. So as a collective, we all have to put our part in making these changes that have to be made so students have the full support so they can be successful.
It definitely did. It supported me a lot with figuring out what classes I have to take in order to get what I want to get to my end goal. Making it easier on my side to not worry about a majority of the important classes, having it to where they set up a lot of the English and math classes for me. So I have a better chance of not having to wait in a wait list or something like that. I'm basically guaranteed in the math classes and English classes to get into the class and with teachers that strive for the most for us.
Well, it started off pretty smooth, classes were pretty much easy, but now that we've switched to everything online, it's kind of gotten a little difficult. But SESI has tried their best to help us out. They've done they're doing Thursday meetups on Zoom to see our problems and try to see ways to help us. SESI mentors are they're keeping on track with us. They're texting us and trying to see where we're at and see if we need any individual help or if we're just need somebody to talk to. When I go to college, I recommend it's a good idea. One thing I will say, not everybody that gets out and has the degree uses it. That's something I've got to learn from some friends and from some family and some inspirational speakers. But I heard that it's always a good idea to have a degree with you, just in case as a plan B. And also, if you're gonna go into college, you should look for opportunities and join programs where they could help you either pay with books if you're gonna have trouble with that or with food.
Keep an open mind. A lot of us here want to see everyone else succeed. Feel free to ask other mentors that may not even be your mentor certain questions. Every other mentor has a different type of skill. Everyone's doing something different, so it'll always be good to hear what other people might have. Maybe you might have a friend that's doing a different career and you want to know more about that, so maybe that'll gravitate yourself towards it in the future, like how I did. I got it from presentation So maybe a presentation might help you out, or a mentor might help you out. And feel free to ask really any type of questions to the higher ups at SESI or any other mentors. We won't discourage you whatsoever. We won't back you out. We're here with open arms here at Sac City and the SESI program in general.